Yes. Sports with Matic and Roses, Blueprint Radio. You already know. Okay, so we're going to start right with the EPL. It's back in the flesh.
Yo.
Arsenal. So Arsenal played Aston Villa, which is Rose's new team.
Shout out to the villains, B.
So this was convenient and set up perfectly for Blueprint Radio episode 2, season 2. Unfortunately for the new Villa fan, Arsenal won 2-0. It was a good game. I'll say that for the most part.
It was. I saw the goals.
Yeah.
Listen. Goalie had a tough time.
I'll let you cook.
That second goal was shaky.
It was
the other goal, it was a beautiful goal. He came with the right foot, just pow.
Yeah.
He came across the box, and he slaughtered that. But like,
Saka's a monster. That you're talking about Hazard, and the second goal was by Partey.
Yeah, Partey's goal. Shout out to the black man, but like, you know what I'm saying?
It was
he
good.
got that.
No,
he got that.
What stood out for me with Villa, I don't know if you saw the Villa misses. I think this game probably could have been 2-2.
When he hit that crossbar and it came down.
Oh man, but the first one, it was the same guy, Watkins. He got a pass, it was a 2-on-1 off a turnover. He had a pass, he had tried to touch it into the net. The guy misses it wide left. And the second one, our goalie, Rhea, saves the ball. He's on his back. My boy has to head the ball into the net and miss it and shoots it right at the goalie. I felt bad for this Watkins guy, striker for Aston Villa. He's going to have a tough week in the papers in the UK. But I think rightfully so. As a professional athlete, I think you got to finish at least one of those chances. But shout out, EPL's good so far. It's only been a couple weeks. I'm excited for the rest of the year. I'm cautiously excited, I'll say that, because I am an Arsenal fan, and Manchester City is a generational team. I'll even say it right now. It's tough. It's tough to say, but they may be one of the best EPL teams of all time, if not already the best EPL team of all time.
But they're top in the league right now, B.
Already off goal differential. It's tough.
They're top in the league. They got the 6 points up.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
They are just slaughtering right now.
Brighton and Hove Albion, they're number 2. It's not going to last. I just don't think they're built for it. Even though the last couple of years they've been about in the 4 to 6 slot, so they are playing well. We're in 3rd right now, I believe, and then Liverpool is in 4th.
Right after you guys.
Yeah, but Liverpool, it's going to be tough. I want to see them because they don't have Jurgen Klopp this year. They have a brand new coach. We want to see, because I feel like everything might be copacetic right now, but we'll see when turmoil starts to happen, if they will react to the new coach, if they will, if there will be a synergy, or if they're going to be, if it's going to work against them. So we'll see. Mbappe made his debut for Real Madrid. Unfortunately, Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe is a French national soccer player, played for PSG for many years, arguably the best player in the world right now. And it was just like, think New York Yankees, think LA Lakers or Boston Celtics, think, whatever the best team, the Dallas Cowboys.
They always make those signings.
The Real Madrid, which is probably the most storied football team in soccer history, definitely the most winning, has signed him. Now, he hasn't scored a goal or an assist in 2 games. I think he's finding his footing. It's like an all-star team over there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be some time before he gets, feeling around Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo and Player of the Year, Bellingham. So we'll see. I think it's going to be, after they start to click, it's going to be a clinic.
Yeah.
You can't miss a Real game this year. I've watched 2 of them already. And I don't know if I might have watched 1 last year. So I think that's it. Anything else on soccer? Anything else?
Nah.
All right, cool. So we'll slide into baseball. It's obviously, as a Blue Jays fan, it's tough sledding. So we can't really talk about the Blue Jays much.
No, we don't got much to say about them.
But I think, the news of news is Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani is the newest member of the 40-40 club, which ultimately has been probably the most prestige club in all of baseball.
Is that when Ricky Henderson said I'm the greatest of all time after he got those 40 bases stolen?
He won. So he did that after he won the base stealing title. So he actually became the leader in stolen bases. But funny enough, as good as Ricky Henderson was as a baseball, he never was a part of the 40-40 club.
Nah.
So it's such a prestige club. There's only 6 people ever to do it. It's amazing that because Ohtani came in comparison to Babe Ruth because of how well he can pitch and as well as he can hit. It's both super elite.
Yeah.
But the fact that this year he's actually not pitching at all for the whole year, and that was by design by the Dodgers in his first year to kind of rest that arm. For next year and years to come. He is arguably the best baseball player of all time.
He has that gun in the outfield, though.
Bro.
I've seen him throw it and get guys out at home plate. Like, I've seen him from, left field. Just one throw. Bomb!
Yeah, he's one of those guys, I think what they call in baseball, they call 5-tool.
Yeah, he's a 5-tool
player. He can do it all. It's amazing to watch him. Dodgers games. I've been in and out of Dodgers fan over time, but
he's You're a Dodgers fan, man?
A pseudo Dodgers fan. I'm obviously a Jays fan at the end of the day, but again, I treat the Dodgers like I treat the Lakers, like I treat I'll never say the Yankees. I was never a Yankees fan because of our division.
What?
But when I like the Yankees fit because of hip hop, but not because of the Yankees.
It's hard to go against one of the greats, though. I mean, since about 95, 96 when they started winning championships, the people that they just produce, like Bernie Williams.
Yeah, I'm a Judge fan.
I mean?
I'm not a Yankees fan. I'm a Judge fan. An Aaron Judge fan in that sense. Like, I want to see him. I'll watch a Sunday night baseball game to see him hit home runs.
Unbelievable.
But I'm a Blue Jay fan first, and I can't root for the Yanks.
Well, I'll never root for the Red Sox. Let's just say
the Red Sox, the Orioles,
Baltimore
the
Orioles.
Tampa Bay Rays. None of them.
And
I'm rooting for.
Toughest division in baseball.
It might be the toughest division in sports.
Because we don't spend like them.
Yeah, it might be the toughest division in sports.
But Tampa Bay and Baltimore have been able to do it.
I think so Tampa. We'll stay there for a second.
Tampa has always been able to develop players.
Yeah, and they, what the thing about Tampa, and they've always they knew who they were.
Exactly.
Right? They already realized that they're not going to get free agents to Tampa.
No.
They're not going to sign big names in the offseason. They're not going to.
Which is crazy because who wouldn't want to live in Florida?
Beautiful.
It's not. It's not like basketball.
Beautiful. Yeah. Playing outdoors, perfect weather all the time. But in knowing that, they just, again, like you said, went to the farm team and developed. They know how to draft amazing.
Yes.
Like the prospects are the best year in, year out. They're able to trade their prospects for talent
and get solid talent.
100%. Baltimore is kind of like that right now. They've been growing up. Baltimore was one of the better teams.
Well,
growing
the Cal Ripken era,
100%,
the Iron Man era, and then they were trash.
Yeah, Rafael Palmeiro and so they've had some.
They even had Olimar on their team, bro.
They've had some good names.
You know what I mean?
And the Red Sox, obviously,
they've been buying their championships.
Oh, because they can afford it.
Exactly.
They can afford it, right?
The Red Sox are. You never think the Red Sox are going to be that good?
Yeah.
Midway, let's say halfway through the year, a third through the year, they just turn it up and then they don't stop.
I hate to say this, and I'm gonna say it. I have to say it because I'm fair.
It's subjective.
And I'm true. Boston might be the best sports city ever. It might. I don't want to say it, but when it comes to when you think about
how they support their teams,
when you think about when you think about the Red Sox, when you think about the Celtics. No.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? They may be
for the
best.
trifecta.
I'm missing the Bruins. Look at all of that.
For the four, I was gonna say the tribe, but for the four, because the Bruins have been killing the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
They've been really good. The Bo Sox do their thing.
Tough to say, bro.
I mean, Patriots were America's team all through the 2000s.
They're the Patriots. Literally the name of the Patriots.
But I mean, they jumped over the jump, man. They moved Dallas out the way.
Yeah, no, Dallas hasn't won anything since '93, bro.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right, 100%.
I'm just saying, what was a sports show on football without talking for an hour about the Patriots?
Yeah. No, you had to talk Tom Brady. You had to talk Belichick. You had to talk everything that
Gronkowski.
was winning football. Aaron Hernandez, you know what I mean? All of that, everything, right?
We gotta talk about that, Doc.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do that next week. Okay, but we'll end off on the Shohei point here because I just want to list off a couple things. So he's one of 6 players to ever do it. Obviously, he did it last year. The first player to do it was Jose Canseco with the Oakland A's in 1988.
Stick a pin.
Yeah.
Jose Canseco is talking mad greasy on the net a couple weeks ago.
About what?
He's saying...
Because he started the whole...
He's like, yo...
He started it.
Put me against anybody right now. I'm hitting the ball way further and harder than they could.
Like right now?
Right now.
Okay. Listen. I watched Canseco play. Canseco is a monster with or without drugs or whatever the case is.
Him and Mark McGwire.
He's one of the best
Smash
players
Brothers.
in baseball history, absolutely, regardless if he ever goes to the Hall of Fame or not.
And they front on him. Though.
Yeah, no. Canseco is him. Like, so you cannot...
Legit.
Yeah, Jose Canseco is him.
Legit.
Mark McGwire will tell you Jose Canseco is him. And Cal Ripken will tell you Jose Canseco
Everybody
is him.
knows he's
Everybody
him.
That played baseball from the mid-'80s to the mid-2000s
It was him, Cecil Fielder, Tony Gwynn.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. The list goes
but
on.
he was him, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Him and Barry Bonds, actually.
Yeah, so as you speak, we'll get to Barry in a second. So 98 was Jose. Barry Bonds was the next to do it in 1996 with the Giants.
He had 2 careers.
Oh, he was amazing. The Pirates' career was an MVP, too. He was the MVP of the Pirates. And his transition in the Giants is crazy to me. But Alex Rodriguez is the next person to do it 2 years later in 1998 with the Mariners. Young A-Rod was something special.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And they always say that he was like obsessed with Jeter.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, but you can see he's like kind of psycho in that sense.
Yeah. But you got to be like that to be on that level.
To be that elite level, you know what I mean? Alfonso Soriano for the Washington Nationals.
Another guy who never gets no love.
They're profit. He was fun to watch too. He was fun to watch in 2006. And then last year, funny enough, Ronald Acuna Jr., who's one of my favorite players in baseball from the Atlanta Braves, he did it as well. So the question I have for you, and because we have until the end of September to see if this comes to fruition, we're at the end of August. Today is what, August 26th?
Yes.
So there is, another month of baseball left. Will Shohei Ohtani be the first 50-50 player in NBA history, in NBL, MLB history? 50-50. 50 home
I
runs,
want him
50
to do
stolen
it.
bases.
I want him to do it.
Yeah.
I want him to do it. Will he do it? That means, like, literally, let's say they play about 24 games.
Yeah.
So that's like a home run.
Between now, okay, I'll give them, yeah. Because they pack it in series in September.
Like 24, let's say 20 games, right? So that's like one every other game. He has to hit one home run, and he has to steal one base every other game. He might get to the 50 stolen bases.
He'll get the 50 stolen bases,
but
for sure.
But the home runs, I think guys will stop pitching to him.
Yo, bro, you know your shit.
They're going to stop pitching to him. They're going to try to hit him. They're going to intentionally walk him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of history, fam.
But here's the thing, and you don't want to be that team that it happens to, and he's lifting up the base bag with a bat or something.
Especially in your stadium.
Right? I think with what I've seen with Shohei Ohtani, I don't think there's nothing you could do to stop him. He's Barry Bonds-ish in the way that, that year
he's going to smack the ball.
When Barry Bonds hit 70, like in that, regardless of steroids or not, like I think he is... Like Aaron Judge right now, conveniently, it's reminding me of that Sosa McGwire kind of era, Barry Bonds-ish, where you can't pitch to them. You can't, because
if you make a mistake,
you have to pitch to them because of the rest of the lineups to a certain degree. Because here's the Ohtani problem. Yeah, you don't pitch to him, you put him on base. He's just as dangerous as a base.
He's stealing the base
as he is as a batter,
and that's why you called him a 5-tool,
right?
Earlier,
so
right?
It's just, and I always thought because I grew up playing baseball, like that to me was so important, and I felt like stolen bases over the last 15 years.
You're saying it's a lost art.
Oh, yeah. And now Ronald Acuna, and you're seeing a lot of stolen base totals.
It was all about the big hits for a minute.
With Ernie Wood Jr. right now, he is on top of it with the Royals. So if you ask me, I think he does it.
After that steroid era, which was amazing. Yeah. You remember Sosa, McGwire. Like, after that era, I feel like managers weren't tactically as sound as they were previously. Well, they never worried about advancing runners. You don't see them bunt as much.
You see what happens? So I'll tell you this right now. And it's funny you brought that up, and I appreciate that. is the fact that over that time frame, let's say from like 98 to or 97 to like 2000 and 2010 or whatever the case is, it was all a home run. Right. It was only about the home run, right? They're saying was chicks dig the home run, right? And so they were
chicks dig the long ball.
Or chicks dig the long ball, right?
Pause.
So it's one of those things that like they put all their stock in the home run. The ball got lighter, whatever the case is, just to make that happen more.
Yeah.
But baseball moved away from that and became more stringent on pitching, and as you've seen over the last no hitters are up, batting average is down, pitchers are being able to. So what that does, that creates you to be more creative as a manager and how to find other ways to manufacture runs.
You got to manufacture runs.
All of these things, right?
I feel like scoring is definitely down this season.
But when you get people on base, people are stealing bases. Now you're able to manufacture.
Well, you can move runners, right? The fly out, the bunt,
exactly.
You know,
exactly. Now again, if the stolen base is so important, you know, you're going to be taking walks. You're going to be smarter at the plate. You're not just not going to be swinging for home runs anymore, right? You're going to see more bunts. So I think he does it. I think it also justifies giving somebody a $700 million contract. He has to be the best you've ever seen in his life.
You got to produce. You got to. But if somebody's giving him that $700, how much money they got?
Yeah. All right. So last question I got for you. Saw this floating online, and I thought you'd be the best person to ask. What's the hardest trophy to win in professional sports? And I'll give you the 5 that were listed. So it's the NBA championship, the World Series, the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, and the World Cup.
So we got the World Cup, we got the Stanley Cup, we got NBA, we got the Super Bowl,
and the World Series.
Baseball has the longest season.
Correct.
It's the most grinding. 162 games, not including the playoffs.
Yes, standing in the sun waiting for a pop fly.
Playoff baseball is exceptional.
Oh, absolutely. It's there with playoff hockey for me.
All right. I don't know if it's the hardest, but they have the longest season.
Okay.
NBA, it's not the hardest.
82 games?
It's not the hardest.
Half the teams now are kind of trash.
And what they do is now they rest players.
Yeah, you know.
So it's a little different.
Load management
is a
real thing.
It's a little different. So I'm going to say they're number 5.
Okay. I have them at 5 too, so we'll do this
I'm going to put them at 5.
I have them at 5
NBA's at 5.
Okay. Who do you got at 4?
At 4... Ooh, it's hard.
Yeah. So can I give you mine? Okay, you give me yours first.
Okay, go. Okay.
So at 4, I got the Stanley Cup. And the reason why I got the Stanley Cup is not to take nothing away from the grit of hockey, because hockey, I've always professed hockey is probably the toughest of all of these sports.
Yeah.
Because it's like football on ice and you can't run out of bounds.
Right. And
right. So
that's stick.
Yeah. To that degree, but if I'm going to quantify the the NBA with 82 games. Half the teams in the NHL aren't elite teams that you're going up against most nights. Like if you're a great team, you know, every second night you're playing somebody that you're probably gonna have a 2-1 favorite to win on. So because of those 82 games seasons for both of those sports, I got to put the Stanley Cup at number 4.
For me, it's the hardest sport out of all of them to score.
Oh, okay, all right. I see. To me,
it's the hardest.
Soccer's the hardest to score. You know, 1-0 games, 11-on-11.
No, I feel you, but the target that they have to get into the net, it's not the same as hockey.
No, I get it.
The netminder he can make himself the net. So I wasn't going there.
David that makes it look easy.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we grew up with Jaromir Jagr and
Gretzky and Lemieux
and that. So,
Bure.
we're gonna pause on that.
So no 4 for you.
So
you want to hear my list and then I'll let you work out yours.
4. It's hard because I think World Cup.
Okay.
I think World Cup comes in at 4 for me.
Okay, got it.
Because I feel like you have 4 years to train.
Yeah.
A lot of teams that are in the World Cup get to the World Cup, but they're not elite.
Okay.
We know what the elite teams are. They have elite programs that we're used to.
Yeah.
There's only about 5 or 6 teams in my lifetime that have in football that have that elite banner on them.
Got the
Brazil, Argentina, France, Germany.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Spain, Portugal,
Netherlands.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll move it to 10.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
But I feel like they also have the Euro, and now they have they always had it.
Copa America.
Copa Americas. Yeah. So these guys have gotten to play with each other for a long while. Mm-hmm. If you get hot, I understand it's really hard to get hot, but if you get hot, and because you with soccer, you grew up with these guys.
Yeah.
We've been training our whole life, so I know everything about these guys.
Yeah.
Whereas these sports are more contract based, so that's why I put them at 4. I know you don't have it at 4,
I got
but that's just my reasoning. That's just my reasoning.
No, I respect your reasoning.
You know what I'm saying?
For me, at number 3, I got the World Series, and I have the World Series because of the season is the most grueling. But I think playoff baseball, I think it's 2 different seasons. I think regular season baseball is one thing. I think you can get comfortable. I think you can take days off in a regular season.
Right.
I think the game tightens up more than any other sport when it comes to the playoffs.
So you had them at 3?
I have them at 3.
I'm going to go them at 3 too. I'm going to say
I have the
World Series, Major League Baseball at 3.
Yeah.
Which leaves me with number 2.
Okay.
Which I'm going to say, what do I got left?
I think you got the Super Bowl, you got the Stanley Cup, and
so I'm going to say the Super Bowl is number 2.
Okay.
Why I'm saying
I got the Super Bowl number 2 as well.
I'm going to say Super Bowl is number 2.
Yeah.
But we've seen teams get hot in the playoffs and just, and that bye week, if you have that bye week,
depending on when you have
that can really help you.
If you have it late
that
in the season,
can propel you.
Oh, man.
That can propel you.
Yeah.
But even just waiting for your next team, you know what I'm saying? I feel like they have the most time to prepare.
True.
You got 6-7 days to prepare. But the only thing is you don't get to play each other enough. So that's why it's hard.
And that's the thing about the Super Bowl, and why again you kind of led me into my point is the fact that like it leads to my number 1 because it's at random. Like you might have played the team in that season,
right? But
in a lot of cases you might have not played that team all year. So even though you had time to prepare, you're looking at something you've never seen all year, right? And the randomness of it, I think, does add to it. I also feel that because it is the
but
most sport.
If you're elite, you're playing them in the EPL, you're playing them in other leagues.
In soccer.
But you're not seeing them all together.
I'm talking about American football.
Okay, but my thing was you were saying because you put soccer as number 1.
Soccer's number 1 for me. Yeah, we haven't got
that. That's all you had all left. So that's what I'm saying. But go ahead.
No, but for me with soccer, it's counter to your argument. So I'll talk about one since you brought it up. So, the World Cup is number 1 for me because it is every 4 years and everything has to go right. We've seen teams that have been number 1, Spain, Brazil, and lose the World Cup.
Of course.
You understand? Because they're missing their best player or, it's one of those things that but hey.
That's sports in general though.
But because it's 11 on 11 working at the same time, things have to be, and one goal can be it. You understand what I'm saying? Where other sports, you have multiple opportunities to score, you have second chances. Like soccer doesn't really it has to be sun, moon, and stars, defense, midfielders, forwards, goalie, all unified for you to have success. And then throughout that tournament, you have the round robin, then you have the knockout stage, like the one and done. And this is why I took basketball and hockey off the list and baseball in 3rd, is because I have an opportunity to get you tomorrow.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Football and soccer, it's one and done.
I think
I have to be locked in and engaged in that moment on that day at that time, or my season's over.
But for me, NHL has the most teams that are at the same level.
I'll give you that. So
they have the most teams that are they're spaced out by a little bit. Like when playoffs come, 1 versus 8
It's pretty even.
It's
I'll say
evenly
that.
matched.
I feel like soccer
and
hockey is
they deal with the most. To me, they deal with the most injuries.
Yeah, hockey play football too, though. Like you can't take that
That's
away
a
from
fact.
football.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is like,
and football's injuries to key players. Like if McDavid is injured at all throughout that playoff run last year, Edmonton does nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Like so, like it. But I guess the same works. 49ers, Purdy gets injured 2 years ago. You know, in the conference finals, we lose. So it is what it is. But again, that's it.
I think I just feel like there's a certain level of grit and toughness with playoff hockey.
Yeah.
The intensity that you see, like it just, to me, it speaks to being the hardest to win because it's the hardest. It's physical.
Yeah.
It's hard to score.
Yeah.
We see tons of injuries, and you just got to have your mind right. Like, you don't get to affect the game like you want to.
Yeah, but I can get
you're in a line.
But I can get you back next year. In World Cup, I may have 2 shots at this my whole life.
Right.
And I don't get to go back for 4 years.
Well, that's like that would be like us saying the Olympics though. Like
no, but it's the World Cup.
Because the Olympics, you train for 4 years, you only have one shot. Like if you slip,
yeah, but the Olympics isn't on the list. Like World Cup is every 4 years.
I don't know. It was a good topic, man. It was good. Let's get into something else, baby.